The big return that we have been waiting for, one of the best promos relighting up the WWE main event scene, and of course, the anniversary and one of the best moments in wrestling today. We're going to get into it all in just a second. This is Tweets of the Week. What's up, people? It's your boy Mex, the WrestleManiac, if you will. Back with another episode of Tweets of the Week, the episode where we jump into the Twitterverse and see what people online have been saying about wrestling this week. And it's a real mixed bag this week. Some great stuff has happened, some good opinions, some crazy opinions, and we're going to get into it all in just a second. But before we do, you guys know what to do. Smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell as well. If you are new to WRESTHINGS, you're going to want to stick around for all the great content we have coming. And you're going to love this video, so make sure you hit the thumbs up button too. But without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into it. Tweets of the week. The first tweet of the week comes from our guy, GG. Big up GG on wrestling, at GG on wrestling on Twitter. And he says, nah, this Kenny return was gas! Hashtag AEW Dynamite. No lies told by GG there. It was great to see Kenny Omega return. There has been a mixed bag of reactions in terms of the return. Was it rushed? Did Kenny look good? Was the return as grand as, you would have thought it would have been? My opinion on it all, it was a really good return. AEW basically delivered on the promise that Kenny Omega was coming back. No over-promising, no over-hyping. It was more of a low-key, understated return than we usually get with AEW. It wasn't like a big debut or return as they kind of usually do. But listen, this was absolutely fine. Great to see Kenny Omega back. Yes, he's kind of maybe working us a bit and kind of showing us he's not 100%. But just to have him back, and obviously Punk came back last week, we're beginning to get the feel for AEW again. The big players are all coming back just in time for their big pay-per-view All Out on September the 4th. So yeah, Kenny Omega in this match progressed with the Young Bucks. Great to have him back, and I agree with GG. This was gas. Kenny Omega is back in AEW. The next tweet we have this week is from @WrestleConnor. And he has to say, great fucking segment. They legitimately got me invested in less than 5 minutes. Top notch work. Also love the "we're wrestlers in a wrestling ring, let's freaking wrestle" line from Drew. Hashtag WWE Raw. So yes, Connor is referring to the great promo and then following match segment between Kevin Owens and Drew McIntyre. It literally lit up everything on that show. One of the outstanding pieces of work on Monday Night Raw from this past week. This match even got 4 stars, which, people were saying after this match that it was pay-per-view quality. And, if you are a believer of Dave Meltzer's starring system, then yeah, 4 stars is very, very fair for the great match we got on WWE Raw. But the promo between these guys, it just brought, so much joy to me because Drew McIntyre and Kevin Owens are both guys that I'm invested in anyway. Want them to both do very well for WWE. And this promo just showed us, look, we may have been sleeping on these guys, particularly Kevin Owens, in the last few years, but, they still have it. And this is what Triple H is really working on now, rebuilding these divisions, particularly the main event scene, and giving us these big characters in these positions. So yeah, kudos to Drew McIntyre and Kevin Owens for this performance. Next tweet we have is from @KalafSami. And he has to say, Kazuchika Okada versus Will Ospreay is the best New Japan match this year. Absolutely incredible stuff. So again, this tweet is in reference to the G1 Climax final that happened this week between Okada and Ospreay. It again has been rated 5.75 stars, absolutely breaking the Richter scale. Another 5-star plus match to add to Will Ospreay's catalogue, the ever-growing catalogue. Unfortunately, Will Ospreay didn't get the job done. He is still playing second fiddle to Okada. And there is a lot of mixed things online in regards to Okada winning the G1 back-to-back years. He's going to be put into now the main event to challenge Jay White for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship at Wrestle Kingdom, 4th of January next year. We just wanted to see someone different. However, I don't think it's all doom and gloom. If Okada is off chasing the heavyweight championship? What will Will Ospreay be doing? And the rumors of Ospreay versus Omega still run wild. Will Omega make a grand return to New Japan to take on Ospreay at Wrestle Kingdom? This feud that is bubbling between the two, it needs to be paid off, and Wrestle Kingdom would be a fantastic stage. So if that's the consolation prize for Ospreay not winning the G1 Climax, I don't know about you guys, but I'll take it. We have a couple more tweets for you guys today, but before I continue, make sure you hit the thumbs up button. Give us those likes on these videos because I know you guys are enjoying this content. Let's get into the last few tweets. Right, we have a bit of a controversial tweet from @its_Prabha. Bit of controversy. Let's see what they have to say. Mandy Rose, acknowledge her. The greatest NXT Women's Champion of all time. Hashtag Mandy Rose, hashtag WWE NXT, hashtag NXT Heatwave. Right, so Mandy Rose defended her NXT Championship against Zoe Stark at NXT Heatwave this past week. Really good match. Mandy Rose continues on this terrific run she's having. Toxic Attraction are stars. Their whole gimmick, everything is built for TV. They're doing such a good job. At first, I was skeptical with Mandy Rose moving back to NXT, but I really do think this has worked for her. And as a whole, where they're developing more characters on NXT, this has been a good move. However, greatest NXT Women's Champion of all time? Huh? Did you just start watching wrestling this past week, mate? NXT has had terrific women's champions. Asuka, the longest reigning of all time. Shayna Baszler, a 2-time NXT women's champion. Not to mention people before that. Sasha Banks, Bayley, Rhea Ripley. Like, honestly, Mandy Rose has done a terrific job, but I am nowhere near calling her the greatest NXT Women's Champion of all time. I want to hear you lot sound off on this in the comments. What do you think? Where does Mandy Rose rank as an NXT Women's Champion? Amongst all of these kind of names that I've mentioned today, I don't think she's the greatest. I don't agree with that tweet, but Mandy Rose is doing a bloody good job if I say so myself. Right, so I've got one last tweet for you guys today, and you know we like to finish off with something nice and positive. So we head over to our guy Kieran, big up Kieran, @KieranRH93, and check out his platform Wrestling, some great interviews over there as well. Kieran says, 1 year ago today, CM Punk made his long-awaited return at AEW Rampage First Dance, hashtag AEW, and he @CM Punk. Listen, I will stand by this. This is one of the greatest moments in wrestling in my lifetime. CM Punk coming back to wrestling after 7 years. Who would have absolutely thought it after everything that happened to him, after everything that was said, that he wouldn't just generally trust wrestling at all anymore? No, this was a big, big moment. And I'm not even like the biggest CM Punk guy in the world. I appreciate his promos. His work is all right, but I'm not like his massive fan. And then I was absolutely in awe of the moment, like goosebumps everywhere when he returned. This was a big moment. And to be honest, it's been a really good year of him kind of rebedding himself into the industry. I know the last week has been kind of full of controversy, going off script in promos. Apparently there is some backstage trouble involving maybe himself and others in AEW. But you know what? That's CM Punk. That's what you get when you sign CM Punk. That's the kind of character he is. And these are the kind of things that happen in wrestling. I don't even think it's kind of newsworthy. But CM Punk returning to wrestling a year ago. Time has flown and I am still enjoying him being around. So people, that brings to a close another episode of Tweets of the Week. But is there a tweet that we didn't mention that you thought was a pretty good tweet this week? Hit us up at WRESTHINGS on Twitter, DM us or just at us, let us know, let us see these tweets so we can mention them in future shows. And of course, make sure you are subscribed to WRESTHINGS right here on YouTube. Hit the notification bell as well so you get notified every time we drop a new video. Until then, we will be back next week with another episode of Tweets of the Week. Have a good week, guys.